really small high school. I graduated with like, I think 70 or 83 kids, something like that. So it's pretty small. So I actually went to 3 proms. So this would be my junior year prom, and you can see that I was a late bloomer. So here I am with my friends. They're all just wonderful human beings, and it was normal for kids to kind of go in groups of people, so it wasn't weird to have like a group of 6 girls to go. I think it's like the baby's breath, so the little tiny flowers are in my hair, and like the spaghetti straps, and it just kind of like flows. It's not really form-fitting or revealing or anything like that. So that was junior year. And then senior year, I started dating this guy, and his name is Mike, and he's wonderful. And so this was my senior year, and you can like, I finally hit puberty, so that was exciting. So I actually had a really good time that year. It was probably my favorite out of all of them. And my dress actually, like, my mom picked out for me. We were shopping, and I refused to try it on because I thought I would hate it, and then I loved it. So trust your mom when you go prom dress shopping. And then this one is when I was a junior. My boyfriend's still the same one. He was a year younger than me, and so I went back to prom when I was a freshman in college, and he was a senior. And yeah, we had a great time. Like, prom was really fun because we were a small school. Like, everyone knew each other, so it just kind of made it really fun for everyone to like have a reason to get all dressed up and hang out. And we grew up in the country, so like some people would come in tractors, or like one actually drove a semi. So like in the country, that's kind of was the cool thing. I did not do that. I rode in like my brown Chevy Lumina, and it was super classy. And then we also didn't spend a lot of money on it. Like, I remember my dress was like $100 maybe, and then it was like $20 to get my updo, and that was it, right? So like we didn't spend a lot of money on it, which I also really liked too. Like, it was a big deal, but it wasn't. So I actually have really fond memories of prom, and it wasn't that long ago. So it'd been like 2002, 2003, 2004. Which I don't think is that long ago, but as Mia pointed out, it was 15 years ago, so maybe it is a little longer than I thought. But no, I have very fond memories of prom, and I'm really glad that I went and I did it.
Yeah. So I went to high school in southwest Iowa, and kind of a small school. There were 120 kids in my class, and I had the same boyfriend all through high school. So I can actually have all 3 pictures of us in all 3 years. But the first year that I went to prom, he was a year ahead of me, so he was a junior and I was a 10th grader. And it was the first time I'd ever bought flowers before. And so when we went to pick up the flowers, the lady, took it out of like a case that I thought was a freezer. It was not a freezer. So when we got home, I put the flowers in the freezer like the lady at the flower shop did. And then when he came to pick me up at my house, then I took the flower out, and of course it was completely shriveled up and dead, because it should have been in the refrigerator, not in the freezer. But he is a super nice guy, and he wore it anyway. So in our picture, he's wearing a super dead flower on his jacket. But we kind of chuckled that it kind of matched the color of my dress. So in person it was pretty bad, but in the picture it doesn't look quite as bad. But that was pretty nice of him. And I will say, the picture, you can definitely tell that I went to high school in the 80s, and I may have had a perm. But that's the only prom picture that I have a perm. The rest of them I do not, so that's good.
Junior year prom, and this was my date. His name was Chris. We weren't dating, we were just friends. And this prom, I actually am remembering now. This prom, we had agreed to go together as friends, and then he started talking to this other girl, and he was actually gonna start dating her, and then he tried to like cancel his prom plans with me, and I was really hurt. And I think my friends probably told him that, and told him that he was a terrible person, so then he agreed to go with me. So we went to prom, and I think this was also the prom where I got to drive my mom's car, which was a Chrysler Concorde, a big long silver car. And so I think the boys were like standing in the doorway doing something, and so me and this was my best friend Amy at the time. So me and Amy go out, so I help her get in the car, and I like shovel her dress into the car and like close the door. And then I think I ran back to get my bag, and I decided that I needed to reapply some deodorant at that time too. So I pulled the deodorant out of my bag, reapplied, threw it in the trunk, and then I think we all just like, hopped into the car and went to, I think we went to dinner at Iowa River Power, which was a lot of fun. Yeah, but it was a good experience. It was a lot of fun.